We're so, I want to get it pushed through during one of the budget meetings.
All right, thanks, Kim. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us. This is an exciting start to our meeting. It's wonderful to see so many members of our Beverly Police Department here with us, and family and friends. Before I officially call the meeting to order and we get started, I know Kim is ready in the BevCam booth. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, BevCam, for making sure people can join us and follow live, even if they're not here with us in this space. I wanted to run through our agenda, and then we'll officially call the meeting to order and we'll get started. So tonight, we have a presentation of new members of our Beverly Police Department. We'll have a swearing in, and then we'll have an opportunity to hear a resolution also from Counselor St. Hilaire, for one of our officers. I'll take a brief recess at that point so you can take pictures with your family. You'll have some time to be able to do that, and then we'll continue with our agenda. We have some routine business to take care of, an 8 o'clock public hearing, and we'll take a break for some committee work and then come back to finish it out. So, with that, I'll officially call to order this regular meeting of the Beverly City Council, Monday, May 15th, 2023, 7 o'clock p.m. Ms. Kent, would you please call the roll?
Bowen? Here. Crowley?
Here.
Feldman?
Here.
Hausman?
Here.
Rand?
Here.
Rotundo?
Here.
St. Hilaire?
Here.
Sweeney?
Here.
And Flowers.
Here. Thank you, Ms. Kent. Counselor Bowen, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, Counselor Bowen. Since we have everyone here and ready to go for the swearing in, counselors, I would entertain a motion to take our agenda out of order so we could go to presentations, awards, and memorials first.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That carries 9-0. So we will go to presentations, awards, and memorials. This is the Beverly Police Department swearing in ceremony. And I want to take a minute to acknowledge also our mayor. Mayor Cahill has joined us. Thank you, Mayor. And I'd like to turn things over to get started to our Beverly Police Chief, John LeLasher. Chief, it's a pleasure to have you and so many members of your team here and their families and their friends. So it's our pleasure to be able to welcome you to the City Council chamber. I know with the pandemic, with COVID, we missed the opportunity to have these kinds of moments, and they're so important. So we're glad to have you all here and hopefully get back into this tradition that we had before that time so that your officers and their families have these moments. So, Chief, thank you.
No, thank you, Madam President, members of the council, Mayor Cahill. In fact, we haven't been able to do this since 2020, and I think it's very important that the officers and their families get to witness. Even though they've been officially sworn in by the clerk and they've signed the book, it's important that they get the recognition from the city, so we thank the council for inviting us in. I also want to wish all the mothers Happy Mother's Day. I know it's a day late, but this is my first opportunity. I can take care of that. And also today is National Law Enforcement Memorial Day. So May 15th of every year is National Police Officers Memorial Day. President Kennedy put it into effect, and it's been held ever since. It's down in Washington, D.C. They have the 42nd commemorative service of the Law Enforcement Officer Memorial. And I believe this year there were 258 officers added to the wall who were killed in the line of duty last year. So we ask those to remember the officers that have lost their lives in the line of duty. First off, I also want to thank the families of the officers. For them to be able to come to work every day, leave their families, friends, work midnights, holidays, weekends. It is a very difficult career path, but we've all chosen it. I don't regret a day that I've done this. It's been 41 years and still going. I plan on doing a few more. And, you know, it's for the newer officers, it seems like a tough thing, but as things go along, it's amazing that they're able to do that every day when they go to work. And I want to thank the officers, men and women of the police department that do work every day, the sacrifices they make, and the wonderful job they do to protect the citizens of Beverly and those who visit us. So that being said, I'm going to turn over to Captain Devlin, who will conduct the ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you very much, Captain Devlin.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome all the parents and officers here tonight for a very nice evening to get the respect that they deserve. First officer I'm going to call up is going to be Officer Jack Atherton, hired January 1st, January 17th of 2022. Graduate of Beverly High School, class of 2014. Went on to receive his bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Keene State College. He comes from a strong public safety family with his father, Robert Atherton, currently a lieutenant on the Beverly Fire Department, and where his grandfather, Robert Sr., also served and retired as the inspector of fire prevention. In addition, his other grandfather, James Buchanan, served in public service as well as a Beverly police officer. I was fortunate enough to have worked with him, and I was fortunate enough to know the Atherton family and Bob, your father, Jack, your grandfather. Great people. Next up, I'd like to have Officer Brendan Boyle, hire date 3/31/2023. Officer Boyle is a lifelong resident of the city of Beverly and a graduate of Beverly High School class of 2015. He went on to Worcester State University, earning his bachelor's degree in criminal justice, the class of 2021. He comes from a public service-oriented family, following his grandmother, Mary Ellen O'Connor, working for the Beverly Police Department, and his mother, Jennifer Boyle, who works for the Department of Homeland Security. Next, I'd like to call at this stage Officer Daniel Cashman, hire date 2/13/23. Officer Cashman, graduate of Beverly High School, class of 2014, went on to receive his bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Merrimack College. He was previously a police officer of the town of Rockport for the last 5.5 years before coming to the Beverly Police. Next, I'd like to call up Officer Amanda Cicchini, hire date 4/2/21. Graduate of Beverly High School, class of 2012. Went on to receive her bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Salem State and is currently pursuing her master's degree at Anna Maria College. Before coming to the Beverly Police Department, she worked for the town of Wenham Police as a police officer for 3 years. She comes from a family of public service, with her father, Stephen, serving as a Beverly police officer, which inspired her to follow in law enforcement, and her mother, Kim, an ER nurse, and one of the best. Very welcome. Next, Officer Sean Gannon. Hire date 1/17/2022. Sean, a Beverly resident, graduate of Bishop Fenwick High School, class of 2013. He went on to receive his master's degree in criminal justice from the University of Massachusetts Lowell, and was inspired by his stepbrother, Stephen O'Brien, who was a Beverly police officer, following him into the policing profession. Next, Officer Ryan Knight. Hire date 8/14/2020. Lifelong Beverly resident and graduate of Beverly High School, class of 2012. He went on to Southern New Hampshire College, where he earned his associate's degree in criminal justice, and is currently enrolled pursuing his bachelor's degree. He began his interest in law enforcement with the Beverly Harbor Master's Office from 2012 to 2020, followed by the Boxford Police Department from 2017 to 2020. And he draws his inspiration for police work from his cousin, Sergeant Michael Henneberry of the Beverly Police Department, and former harbor master and mentor, Dan McPherson. Next, I'd like to call up Officer Brittany Lazarides. Lifelong resident of Beverly, graduate of Beverly High School, class of 2012. Went on to Salem State University and received her bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Before becoming a Beverly police officer, Brittany worked as a police officer for the town of Essex. Officer Tim LeBlanc. Hire date 1/17/2022. Lifelong resident and graduate of Beverly High School, class of 2015. Went on to the University of New Hampshire and received his bachelor's degree in criminal justice. In addition, from 2015 to present, he worked for the Beverly Harbor Master as well as the Marblehead Harbor Master from 2017 to present. He attributes his inspiration for his career path to his uncle Kevin Weaver, former retired Beverly police officer. Kyle Martin. Officer Kyle Martin, 8/5/2022, hire date. Lifelong resident and graduate of Beverly High School, class of 2016. He went on to attend Norwich University, class of 2020, and received his bachelor's degree in criminal justice. He credits his father, Donald Martin, who served 24 years on the city council, as his inspiration to pursue a career in public service. Officer John Page. Officer John Page, hire date 4/29/2022, graduate of Beverly High School, class of 2012. He went on to Norwich University and received his bachelor's degree in criminal justice. He is a member of the Army National Guard, where he has attained the rank of Staff Sergeant. Officer Nicole Phillips. Officer Nicole Phillips, 8/14, hire date 2020. Graduate of Salem High School, class of 2005. She went on to Suffolk University and received her bachelor's degree in sociology, criminology, and law, class of 2009. Nicole is the first member of her family to pursue a career in law enforcement. And our last officer to be recognized tonight is Officer Corinne Woods. Officer Corinne Woods, hire date 9/19/2022. Graduate of Beverly High School, class of 2011. Currently holds a bachelor's degree from Bryant College. Corinne credits her inspiration to enter the law enforcement field to her father, Jack Woods, who served with the United States Customs and Border Patrol, retiring after a 35-year career.
I always like to tell a little joke. When I was a young officer, I saw one of my senior officers had a pin. We had serving since pins, and his pin said 1963. And I thought, oh my God, I was 1 year old when he started. And I would look at this group and think, I started full-time in 1982. And I see this group of officers, and I know that our future is great. Mrs. Kent?
I state your name. Do solemnly swear. And affirm. That I will faithfully and impartially. Discharge and perform. All the duties incumbent on me. As an officer of the City of Beverly Police Department. According to the best of my abilities. And understanding. Agreeable to the Constitution. And the laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And charter and ordinances. Of the City of Beverly. So help me God. Congratulations.
So I'll open this all up to the family and friends. If you would like to go up and pin your offices and take pictures, feel free to do so.
It seemed to be a little relaxing. Certain things, you know.
Keep smiling. already had been sworn in, but you had not had this opportunity. So I know you've been on the job, you've been working, but thank you for being here. It's a privilege for us to have this moment with you and your families to be able to have the swearing in here in the council chambers. So thank you, and thank you for the work that you've been doing already for the city every day. Chief, thank you so much for you and for Captain Devlin being here and all the members of your team as well.
Thank you. If you'd like, we can continue with Officer O'Brien's ceremony.
Thank you very much. Yes, and I did mention, at least one family member said, are we done? And I said, you will have another chance at pictures because we will take a recess after the next portion. So that means that you'll have another chance if you didn't get all the pictures that you hoped with your family members. You'll have that chance. And then officers, families, friends, you are welcome to stay with us for the entire meeting tonight, but you're also welcome to leave. Not that we don't love having you and not that we don't think it's fascinating, but please don't feel you have to stay the entire night with us. So we will go now to, we have one resolution. Councillor St. Hilaire, you have a resolution for Officer Stephen O'Brien, and I would invite you to go to the podium to present that. Thank you.
So it's great to see everybody tonight, and congrats to everybody who was recognized. This recognition was originally timed to go together with the other police recognitions tonight. It is a little bit overdue, so thank you, Officer O'Brien. And it was originally shared with me, the story from Sergeant Henneberry. So, you know, it's a good example of some peer recognition that I thought was important that we share across the community. And with that, we'll go ahead and read it. And starts with, whereas Stephen O'Brien III is a fourth-generation Beverly Farms resident, played football and graduated from Beverly High School in 2005, is an avid year-round surfer and skier, and has dutifully served as an officer of the Beverly Police Department since 2013. Whereas on Sunday, August 28, 2022, Officer O'Brien was off duty and was returning home from vacation in northern Vermont. And whereas while traveling on State Route 12A, in the rural area of the Green Mountains, Officer O'Brien came upon an ambulance parked on the side of the road. Officer O'Brien observed that two EMTs were performing CPR on a patient having a cardiac event, whereas Officer O'Brien immediately pulled over and offered his assistance. Officer O'Brien took over chest compressions and continued cycles of CPR with the EMTs for approximately 45 minutes. And whereas Officer O'Brien and the EMTs continued with CPR, in addition to administering 2 shocks with the defibrillator. The patient was eventually transported to a local medical facility whereby he was stable enough to be airlifted to another medical facility. Whereas the actions of Officer O'Brien ultimately helped prolong this patient's life to get to the advanced medical care, now therefore be it known that Beverly City Council recognizes the outstanding performance and heroic efforts of Officer Stephen O'Brien for assisting in the medical treatment and performance of CPR that resulted in saving a man's life, and order the city clerk to spread a copy and record upon the city records. Congratulations, Officer O'Brien, and thank you for all that you do.
Officer O'Brien, before you get all the way back to your seat, if you would like to say a few words, you are invited to have the podium if you'd like, okay? Thank you so much, Councillor St. Hilaire, for bringing this resolution forward on behalf of the council for Officer O'Brien, and I would entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. That carries 9-0 and is officially approved. Congratulations and thank you, Officer. Mayor, I don't know if you wanted a moment at the podium to say a few words as well. I'd welcome you to do so if you'd like.
Steve, can I? Thank you, Madam President. I mean, all I would do is
First off, to all the newer officers, thank you so much for choosing to make your career here in your hometown and for the service you're providing our community. Thanks to all the officers who are here tonight to bear witness and honor your fellow officers. Thanks to all the family members, as Chief said earlier, for your support and your everything. And to Officer O'Brien, that's, you know, we were just talking about it during the last break. On the one hand, it's amazing what you did, and on the other hand, it's still amazing what you did. But what I also would say is I would expect any of your brother and sister officers would have jumped right in and tried to do the same. That's not at all to diminish the fact that you were there and you had the presence of mind and the courage and the love of your fellow person to jump in and give every bit of assistance you can. I guess it's just also to say that we know everyone here would do the same, and that's a great feeling to us living here in this community, know that we're so well protected and well served by our police, law enforcement, and for that matter, for all of your brethren in the fire service as well. So thank you so very much, and Madam President, thank you for letting me come up and share in all this. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I do just want to take a moment. It was alluded to earlier. Officer Martin credited his father, Don Martin, for going into a life of public service, but former Ward 5 City Councilor Don Martin, it's nice to see you back here in council chambers. And I know we also have former Ward 2 City Councilor and City Clerk Wes Slate. So welcome back, both of you. Nice to see you. With that, councilors, I would entertain a motion to take a 5-minute recess.
Moved. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Thank you very much for recess. If you'd like to take more pictures, please do. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations again to all the officers and families, and thanks for being here with us this evening. We have some time before our public hearing, which is posted for 8:00 p.m. So, Ms. Kent, let's go to communications from His Honor the Mayor, please.
Order number 136, dear Honorable City Council, I hereby reappoint, subject to your review, as provided in Section 2-10 and Section 3-3 of the Beverly City Charter, Bruce Doig to serve as Beverly's Director of Parks, Recreation, and Community Services for a period of 3 years. Sincerely yours, Michael P. Cahill, Mayor.
Thank you. Please refer that to the Committee on Public Services.
Order number 137, dear Honorable City Council, I hereby reappoint, subject to your review, as provided in Section 2-10 and Section 3-3 of the Beverly City Charter, Michael Collins to serve as Beverly's Director of Engineering, Commissioner of Public Services, Public Works for a period of 3 years. Sincerely yours, Michael P. Cahill, Mayor.
Thank you. Please refer that to the Committee on Public Services and the Committee on Finance and Property, please.
Order number 138, dear Honorable City Council, I hereby appoint, subject to your review and recommendation, Mr. John Curry, 9 Holding Street, Beverly, to serve on the Veterans Advisory Council. His term is to be effective until March 1st, 2026. Sincerely yours, Michael P. Cahill, Mayor.
Please refer that to the Committee on Public Services. Let's go to communications from other city officers and boards.
Order number 139 from Dr. Suzanne Chirojik of Superintendent of Schools, a request for City Council approval for 4-year lease purchase with Apple for student laptops for the one-to-one laptop initiative at Beverly High School.
Please refer that to the Committee on Finance and Property.
Order number 140 from the city clerk, an application for renewal for a Class 2 motor vehicle license from Michael's Auto Body at Beverly, 2 School Street.
Please refer that to the Committee on Legal Affairs.
Order number 141 from the city clerk, 5 renewed applications for petroleum storage registrations for 2023. All applications will be approved by the Beverly Fire Prevention Office before any certificate of registration will be issued.
Please refer that to the Committee on Legal Affairs.
Order number 142 from the Community Preservation Committee, the 10th round CPA funding recommendation.
Please refer that to the Committee on Finance and Property so that we can set a public hearing. Wow. All right, with that, that was speedy, Ms. Kent. I would entertain a motion, councilors, to take a break for some committee work.
Moved. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. So we need to be back here at 8 p.m. for our posted public hearing. So if committees are not wrapped up by then, please pause your committee work and we'll come back. Let's have legal affairs stay here, finance and property on the bench, and public services in the committee room. We're ready? You ready? Yep. Okay. All right, cool. Okay, call to order the Legal Affairs Committee and, are we Committee of the Whole? Yep. Not quite, and Committee of the Whole, thank you. Okay, let's take up here, order number 75, which is the rezoning of property at 8 Summit Avenue from RMD to CC. So, and we did receive the recommendation from the planning board. The planning board recommended, in a letter, they recommended to us on May 5th that, should I read this letter?
Yeah, and it's
'Cause
attached. Oh, you have it.
Okay, all right. Okay, on May 5th, the planning board wrote, "Dear Honorable Council, the City of Beverly Planning Board heard testimony on the above reference request at a joint public hearing with the Beverly City Council held on May 1st, 2023. Following the joint public hearing, the board continued the public hearing at a special meeting the same night and discussed the proposed zoning amendment. At the conclusion of the discussion, the board voted to close the public hearing and then voted to recommend that the city council, that council order number 75 be adopted, thereby changing the zoning of the property located at 8 Summit Avenue, Assessors Map 1, Lot 69, from the RMD Multifamily District to the CC Central Business District. The board found that the proposed change is consistent with the City of Beverly Master Plan, is consistent with the character of the surrounding neighborhoods, and will help to alleviate the need for additional off-street parking in the surrounding neighborhoods. Sincerely, Ellen Hutchinson, Chairperson." So, any discussion from Legal Affairs Committee members?
Just one comment in regards to the process. Obviously fully in support of it, considering we know what the effect has on the parking down there, but as well as, we went through a similar measure with cell signaling, with extending out the zoning to allow some development up there, so I think this is a great thing. I want to commend you for taking this action, considering that we know it's very challenging down there. So thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from committee members? Okay. I would accept a motion to submit the accompanying amended, or no, that's the wrong one. Yeah, submit the accompanying amended ordinance and recommend its adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes, thank you. I'm trying to really be by the book on how we're, on our
Appreciate it.
motions. You can always learn new things. Okay, so order number 117 is an application for a new Class 1 motor vehicles dealer's license for Beverly Port Marina, Inc., located at 43 Water Street. We haven't had any further communication from the owners here, so I would accept a motion to hold this
So
order.
moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
We can maybe reach out to them one more time and change our action after that next communication, perhaps. Okay, order number 140 is an application for a renewal for a Class 2 motor vehicle license for Michael's Auto Body of Beverly. And we did receive some constituent communication around Michael's Auto Body, which is on School Street in Ward 2. And I have in the past also heard from constituents about just I guess the way the business is conducted at Michael's Auto Body, where there are oftentimes cars in the street being worked on along with equipment, and also paint on the street and water and what have you. So I would actually like to hold this and invite.
He's here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was trying to get him.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I got my nose on the order. Okay. Okay, so you heard what I've been hearing. Yes. Would you like to, I guess what I'd like to do is to proceed with this to sort of make sure that we're in full compliance of the expectation of the type of business that the auto body shop is with what's expected on the street. So,
That's how you approved it last year with those.
okay, so last year we had, we also had, We didn't have any conditions on it last year, no.
That's last year's, license that,
Okay,
about the parking, the street parking.
okay, got it. Okay, thank you. All right. Would you like to, I'm sorry, I don't have your name off the top of my head. Thank you. I'm Estelle Rand. It's nice to meet you. Would you like to just kind of talk with us about how you're operating and help this committee to understand kind of what constituents are reacting to and, you know, enlighten us? If you don't mind, would you, yeah, you could either come up here, just as long as you're speaking into or near one of the microphones, that's helpful, because that's a BevCam thing.
No problem. Can you hear me?
Yes?
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, so my name is Pat Tedisco. I own Michael's Auto Body at 2 School Street in Beverly. My wife and I and my son bought it 18 years ago from another family, same situation, husband, wife, and son. First of all, can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
Okay, first of all, I was totally amazed as what happened tonight. Never in my life would I expect to see young kids want to become police officers. So that was amazing. I mean, I can't say enough. I've always been for the police department. I've been for the veterans. I've been for anything that has to do with service. And I always believe that these young men and women put their lives on the line for us. And they are, which a lot of people don't realize, is they are our first line of defense. And so to see young kids want to still become a police officer, a young women and men, I'm speechless other than how much I talked already. But it just
pretty
really,
special.
I just wanted to touch on that because I think that's so
I will say I was
important.
doing the math, and what I realized is that they're not as young as they look. I'm just getting older. I was like, oh, they're not babies.
No, it's again,
yeah.
but
It's
going back
impressive,
to
I
Michael's
agree.
Auto Body. Michael's Auto Body has been there for, well over 40 years. It's always been an incredible business. The original owner was Mike Mazzaglia. Then the owner after that was Jerry and Mary Dunnigan, who bought it from Michael. And the name never changed because the quality, the friendships that we've made in that business. You know, we have people that come visit us and spend time with us that has nothing to do with their car. I don't know who complained. I did not even know about this till 11 o'clock this morning. I did make a copy of the last 18 years of licenses that I've pulled here. I've never had to come in front of the board. I don't know, like maybe it's because that one complaint. But it plainly says on-street parking. And I know it doesn't say repairs a vehicle on street, but since we bought the place, the traffic changed. So originally we could park cars and leave them on the street with no problem. Now we actually, even though this says we can park on the street, we get tickets. And I don't complain about them because the signs are there. And, we park there, but we do get, my employees get tickets, my customers, that cars are there, and I make sure I pay them right away so nothing happens to their cars. So I was kind of like, I don't know, I was kind of like, how did this, come about? That, if somebody was upset with something I'm doing in the neighborhood, that no one would come to us. I mean, if you Google Michael's Auto Body, you could see why we're 3 months out before we can even take a customer. Because we have generations of people that have been coming to Michael's Auto Body that started off, in their 30s and then now become their fathers and their kids, and it's just an amazing place to go. I mean, Tom Alexander's here. He is my neighbor across the street. I think he could speak to what kind of neighbor I am. I hope he can. No.
We won't put him on the spot.
But, no, just...
I want to just clarify that sometimes the city council and different committees will invite someone in who's renewing a license, even, sometimes we just have new counselors, and it's good for counselors to understand what they're approving and
Sure.
have the opportunity to ask questions. I have had, not just this year, but over the past, I would say 4 years, about
people who kind of maybe once or twice a year will send me an email or call and say, hey, you know, there's some auto body work happening in the street right now.
Yep.
So I think it is something that happens. I'm sure that you try to avoid that. I wouldn't expect anything else, but I think we could probably have some more conversation or reassurance that, like, how to keep it from happening at all.
Yeah.
Just to see, and I live in that area too, so, you know, I see it from time to time, and I think that you could work with some city departments just to sort of streamline what you're doing so that, number one, there's no waste from the work going onto the street. I think that's really important.
And I agree 100%. And
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you off. The notion that anything comes out of that building and goes on the street, I don't know where anybody gets that. The only thing you're going to see outside is you'll see my workers maybe washing a car. And even if you see a car, which I would love to show anybody who wants to come down, there's a paste you use on a vehicle for prepping, and that paste has no solids whatsoever in it. You can't use any kind of petroleum product or anything with some kind of solvent anywhere near a body shop. If someone wanted to ruin a body shop, all you have to do is go by and spray, I'm on TV, spray WD-40 or spray a chemical, and every car that was in there that was just painted would be totally ruined. So we do have, obviously, paint that is flammable, but we have a license for it. We do everything that's properly maintained. It gets taken out on a monthly basis at a hefty price, with manifest for every time everything gets dropped out of there. So I don't know where anybody's getting that part. And what we try to do is we don't take cars in every day. So we try, unless you drive up to my shop and your car is unsafe to drive, and that would be the only reason I would take you, everything is done by scheduling. So every car that is in the shop has been scheduled 3 months ago, 2 months ago, and every car that coming into the shop, their parts are sitting in my shop, so that when I take your car on a Monday, everything that I need to fix your car to speed up the process is already at our facility, so that we're not taking your car, you know, parking it on the corner or parking on the street. We bought 50 Cabot Street to try to alleviate some problems with parking. We bought 2 Edward Street for the same reason. We have a yard there we park, but we never try to overbook, which we don't. We don't overbook because everything's by appointments. I don't know what more to say other than I think I'm a great neighbor.
I think that helps just to hear a little bit about the
Sure.
system that you're working in, and how you're not really trying to shuffle more than you're working on at a time.
I'm not your typical auto body shop. I mean, you can go to some body shops and they may have 50, 60 cars in their shop. Well, that's great, you know what I mean? But those 50, 60 cars, what should be a 5-day repair becomes a 30 and 45-day repair. So you'll find that that's where we're better than any other body shop, is that if your vehicle comes into my facility, my son and I are going to take care of you, first of all. Second of all, we're not going to take your job just because we want to make sure we don't lose your car. We're going to take your job because we're ready to repair it. You know, and again, we've probably lost a lot of business over the years because we don't follow that practice. But what we find is that if a customer comes in and we tell you you're going to have your car in 7 days, the likelihood is you're going to have it in 5.
Thank you for that. I'm going to open it up to committee members just to see if you've developed some questions here. Yes.
Comment more than a question. Mr. Disco, I'm very familiar with your business. I as well have a business around you, and I can say from my own experience, I know my brothers had work done with you, and you're very reputable. You know, I'm glad to see you are thriving, and I know you've bought other auto body shops that I've used in the past to alleviate the parking. I guess there is a question. Has there been issues? I mean, parking is a prime everywhere in the city right now, and that goes without saying. But have you had to do work on the street because of lack of space or anything like that?
No, because we have Edward Street, which is another building, and that particular building can hold 6 cars. So I think that sometimes maybe a person that drives by may think we're working on a car on the street because the car comes in the bay, it's complete. Comes in, it gets torn apart inside the building, never outside the building. Then the car gets washed, gets ready to go into the spray booth. So a car may be sitting on the sidewalk or on the street with no fender, no bumper, but it's not because we're working on it out there. It's because it's being moved to the shop so that it goes from one spot to another spot to another spot. So we never spray anything outside. We do not take cars apart out in the middle of the street. And again, as you can see, and when I first bought the building, the permit used to say, repair crash cars on the street. And then it got changed to parking on the street. So the original permits that were there way back before me actually almost pretty much said you could fix a car on the street. We never did, but that's how it used to read. But even with this saying on the street parking, like I said, we don't get to use the whole street. So we get to use whatever we want, like, in front of our shop, but we also get tickets for parking where we're supposed to not be able to get tickets. I would assume based on this, we shouldn't be getting parking tickets. But I don't know, but I pay them. And they are the parking clerks and stuff that drive around. They're very respectful. We've never had an issue with them. So if they ticket a car, we pay it. They go by, we still wave. It's no big deal. A few of them may beep their horn and say, you should move that car. But we've never had any issues with them either, so.
All right, thank you.
Counselor Sweeney, any questions?
No questions from me.
I feel like I have just maybe some questions for our own solicitor's office where, this permit says on-street parking. I'm not sure what that, with this, I'm looking at 2022's permit.
Yeah, I can give you the 18 years I've been there if you like.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm good with just looking at this one example, but I appreciate that you're prepared.
No problem.
I'm just not even sure if we're saying with this language, if we're saying, all the cars can be parked on the street or your employees can park on the street. I'm not sure what this is permitting, to be totally honest.
And to be fully honest with you, I don't either. And that's why if we get a parking ticket, I don't come up to City Hall to the
Yeah.
clerk's office and say, hey, I'm not paying this ticket, we just pay it.
So even though, I think you clarified some of the things that we're seeing, I know I've seen cars that are sort of in the queue to be painted on the street, and to someone who doesn't do that work, it looks like the car is being worked on the street. So I think some of that is what people are seeing, so, but I would like to learn more about this. Do you know if we hold this, will it be, tell me, is this too far past, like a
Well, April
renewal.
30th, it should have, yeah, it's already late.
It's late,
Yeah,
okay.
so, the next one will be June 5th, if you talk to the solicitors.
Okay, can we do one, and this is, I hope you understand that part of this is just for my own research purposes too, and it sounds like you're confused about the parking too, so I'd like to get to the bottom of that, what we're permitting there. Maybe we could, grant a temporary
Conditional.
renewal or conditional, so that in 2 weeks from now, I can have some answers on what this permitting means when it says on-street parking. You'll know more about what you're being permitted to do, and we will too. And then when constituents reach out to me, I can say, look, that's a car being queued up, it's part of the permit, it's allowed to be there. I'll be able to answer it more clearly when a constituent has a concern as well. Yes.
So do you want me to make a motion to grant a provisional license till June 15th? So he's in compliance, but it will allow for you or one of us to.
Would be the meeting.
Right, so I just figured give a little extra time if we need to. Do you think June 5th, and let me rescind that and say, motion for June 5th?
Yeah, that sounds
To
good.
allow for you to talk to the solicitor.
I appreciate that. That sounds good. Is there a second?
Second.
Heard, before you vote on that,
Sure.
so,
Just name and,
yes, Tom Alexander, I live at 11 Evergreen Drive in Beverly, but my law offices are at 1 School Street. I'm not here as a lawyer, I'm here as a neighbor. And so my address is 1 School Street, Michael's Auto Body is 2 School Street. So I'm probably have the best, we're directly across the street, I have the best view of what's going on there, and I just want to reiterate what Pat has said. All work goes on inside. Now, it does sometimes look like after they've taken it apart, they store it on the street. Actually, they store it in my parking lot too, which we're good with. And I want to also attest to the fact that you have to wait 3 months because I just had to do it, and so that's the way it is. You gotta, he doesn't take in a ton of cars and sit them around and waiting for work. He schedules them and gets them in and out. So it's a really good operation. I think if you talk to any of the direct neighbors, they'll all say that it's they're a great neighbor and they do wonderful work. And
I've done some quality door knocking on that street, so I have talked to them before. So
Yeah.
I think learning what your system is tonight was really helpful. So, and thank you for speaking up too as a
Sure,
immediate
my pleasure.
neighbor.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, so there was a second.
Can I just add something real quick? So-
Let me take a vote on this because we have to stop in 1 minute. So I just want to make sure we're getting through this. So second, those in
yeah.
favor?
I
Aye, okay. Motion passes. So that was a provisional renewal. I'm going to gather some information with the help of our city solicitor, and your license has been renewed until June 5th, at which time we'll just clarify the parking permit aspect of that.
Yeah, no, what I was trying to say before you took your vote is if you took the parking thing off there, would it make a difference to me? So instead of me having to get a temporary license to come back here in June, since I was only notified today at 11 o'clock in the morning that this was even happening, that if the permit, and I only got it by a phone call, that if that's the only question in front of this board tonight, is whether that parking means no parking or parking, then I'm saying to you, that could be taken off of that, and it doesn't bother me whatsoever, because again, we don't use the parking like it belongs to us anyway, and we do pay tickets just like anybody else would pay tickets for on that street. But if you voted on already, I guess I'll have to accept what you did.
Yeah, and we can communicate about whether you need to show up at the next meeting or not. We'll
Sure.
communicate with you in advance. I appreciate you being here today.
No problem, thank you.
Okay.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you. All right, motion to adjourn committee of the whole.
So moved.
Those in favor? Aye. Motion to adjourn legal affairs committee.
So moved.
Second?
Just one quick question. Do we need to act on order 141?
We didn't, we have to break for,
All
yeah.
right, second.
Yeah, those in favor? Aye, we're adjourned.
I'll call the full city council meeting back to order. Thank you, everyone. We do have a posted public hearing for 8:00 PM on order 135. So if there are members of the public here to speak in this public hearing, you can sign up on the paper in front of Ms. Kent. Ms. Kent, would you read that order, please?
Order number 135, the City of Beverly ordered that the City Council of the City of Beverly hold a public hearing on Monday, May 15, 2023 at 8 p.m. at 191 Cabot Street, third floor, council chambers, live stream on BevCam relative to a National Grid Plan 307-58714 to install conduits on Lovett Street. This was in the newspaper on May 5th.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kent. So we don't appear to have a National Grid representative here. Councilor Rotundo.
Can we hold this order then? I mean, this, after coming out of public hearing, I mean, there's no one here to even talk about it.
No, we don't have to act on it tonight, no.
You can close the public hearing or keep it open.
Yeah, either way. All right, do other counselors feel similarly to Counselor Rotundo? Counselor?
You said we have a member of the public who would like to speak on this?
No, I just was saying if there were a member of the public who wanted to speak, they could sign up. Is there a member of the public who is here tonight hoping to speak?
If there's.
I know you're watching on BevCam, you can't tell why people are laughing, but there are 3 people who are already speaking in legal affairs. Counselor?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if National Grid is not here, that we ought to, put off for another date, the hearing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would entertain a motion to recess this public hearing to June 5th, which is our next regular meeting, at 7:20 PM.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. So we will recess this hearing on Order 135. I think so. To 7:20 on June 5th. Thank you, Ms. Kent. So with that, we will recess that one for now. And I understand Legal Affairs had a little bit more committee work to finish up. So I would entertain a motion to take another brief break for committee work so Legal Affairs could resume their work.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
The Legal Affairs Committee and also Committee of the Whole. We have just one more order to take up, and that's Order 141, which is the petroleum renewals. Any questions from committee members? Oh, okay. Hearing none, I would accept a motion to, I don't have the script right in front of me. I would accept a motion to approve order number 141 and recommend its adoption to the council.
License,
What's that?
or to renew the license.
To renew the licenses.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor? Aye. Motion passes, and that's it. And I would accept a motion to adjourn committee of the whole.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor? Aye. Motion to adjourn legal affairs committee.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.
I just raised my hand, but I'm not on your committee, so just don't count me.
You wish.
I got really excited to be part of it. Thank you.
I'm glad.
Ms. Kent, do you need a minute to get ready for reports from committees? All right. In that case, I will call the full council back to order, and we'll go to reports from committees, please, Ms. Kent.
Order number 139. The Committee on Finance and Property, whom refer the matter regarding a request for approval of 4-year lease purchase for Apple for students' laptops for the one-on-one laptop initiative at Beverly High School, have considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Recommend the council approve this request.
Questions or comments? Question comes on the acceptance of the proposal and adoption of the order. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That carries 9-0.
Order number 142. The Committee on Finance and Property, to whom refer the matter regarding the CPC 10th round CPA funding recommendation, set the public hearing for June 5th at 7:30.
Thank you. Questions or comments? I would entertain a motion to set that public hearing for our June 5th meeting at 7:30 PM.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That carries 9-0.
Order number 75, the Committee on Legal Affairs, to whom refer the matter regarding a rezoning of property at 8 Summit Avenue from RMD to CC, have considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Recommend that they submit the accompanying amended ordinance and recommend its adoption pending publication and final passage? No. Recommend the council approve this request.
Thank you. Questions or comments? This is a zoning ordinance.
This was a joint public hearing, yep, and
Do we have to, does it have to be read twice? Can we do final passage tonight? Sorry, that was my question.
I don't believe so, no.
No, it does not. Okay.
No. No, I think we talked to Beth about this, and it was in the paper twice,
Oh, okay.
so I don't believe we have to do the final passage.
All right. Any further discussion on this one? All right. All those in favor, oh, the question comes on the acceptance of the proposal and adoption of the order. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Carries 9-0. Thanks, Ms. Kent.
Order number 140, the Committee on Legal Affairs, to whom referred the matter regarding an application for a renewal for a Class 2 motor vehicle license for Michael's Auto Body of Beverly, have considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Recommend the license be granted with the provision it's a renewal till the June 5th meeting, where the the committee would like to get more information on the parking aspect.
Okay. So this is a provisional renewal until our next regular meeting. Is that correct? Legal affairs. Okay, thank you. Other questions or comments? The question comes on the acceptance of the proposal and adoption of the recommendation from legal affairs that the license be granted on a provisional nature until our June 5th meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That carries 9-0, and at that point, legal affairs will be able to revisit the license.
Order number 141, the Committee on Legal Affairs, to whom referred the matter regarding 5 applications for petroleum storage registrations for 2023, have considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Recommend the license be granted.
Questions or comments? Question comes on the acceptance of the proposal and adoption of the order. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That carries 9-0. All right. So that brings us to the end of our agenda for this evening. We have our next regular meeting, as we just heard, on June 5th. That will be at 7 p.m. here in Council Chambers. We have 2 presentations that evening and 2 public hearings. The one recessed from this evening, and then we do have the 7:30 public hearing that we just set for the Community Preservation Committee's 10th round CPA funding recommendations. And of course, we'll have some other routine business at that point. Councilor Houseman, I didn't know if you wanted to offer a reminder or make a note for everyone about the start of the Finance and Property budget meetings.
Yes, thank you, Council President. Yes, so Finance and Property will actually have a subcommittee meeting next week, Tuesday the 23rd. It's a Tuesday, not a Monday, at 5:30 p.m. in the conference room. And then starting next week, Thursday, the budget season gets fully underway with Mayor Cahill submitting the budget to the council at a special meeting. And then we are off to the races with a full schedule for the next few weeks thereafter. And everyone has their calendar here. I've asked our new health director to come in. She will be unavailable the evening that she is slotted for, so there will be some discussion and presentation on that, but then she will come in on Monday, June 12th, and speak and have a chance for us to answer questions, for her to answer questions and talk with us briefly before Superintendent Shirojek has her hearing.
Thank you very much, Councillor. And so just to reiterate for members of the public or those watching on BevCam, Finance and Property, you said next Tuesday, the 23rd, we'll meet at 5:30 p.m.
Correct.
And that presentation from the mayor of the budget is Thursday, the 25th, and that's a 6:30 p.m. start.
Correct.
All right,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you. Any other reminders or announcements from members of the council? Councilor Crowley.
Just a reminder that this upcoming weekend is Warrior Weekend here in Beverly. A lot of things going on at the high school, both Saturday and Sunday. And look forward to everybody coming out and joining all the festivities that are going on. A lot of helicopters, tanks, reenactments, and it's a nice time to thank our veterans and just remind us as we're coming into the Memorial Day weekend. So that's all.
Thank you very much, Councilor Crowley. And I know our Veterans Agent, David Parenchief, has worked extremely hard on this, so thank you for reminding us all and making sure that members of the public know about that as well. Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Rand.
Thank you. Just a friendly reminder that on Thursday, this Thursday, May 18th, 5 p.m. is the Citizens Advisory Committee for the National Grid Project. It takes place at the Barnett Gallery at the Public Library. All are welcome.
Thank you very much, Councilor Rand. Any other reminders or announcements? Councilor Bowen, was yours this month? Okay. Good work, councilors. With that, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. You're adjourned.